So hopefully you have your trash bag ready. You have, some sort of donation bag, box, all that stuff, any kind of a maybe or time will tell. And the other thing I mentioned is something like this. I know we like to do the, but like this made things a lot more, I guess, stream. So I could actually use these little bins for different areas of the house. And so I like to, I'm trying to just gather up things in my hands and, who the heck knows what's going to fall out of my hands. So just as a reminder, this is what this room looked like before. And so, yeah, you can see I have turned it into quite the dumping ground. Oh, man, how do we do this? And it's funny because it's like, we've been making this crazy progress on the other room. And then, I just set stuff down in here. And so one of the things that I think is interesting is this room was pretty functional for the most part. I've had this set up for approximately a year now, and it wasn't up until October that it got this far out of control. And I'm actually get of the hear me now? Let's see. Let me make sure. Let me check some of my settings real quick. All right, that's not the microphone I want. So when I go there, oh, there it goes. All right, I think I'm hearing it now. Everything's good? Yes? No? All right, well, this is oh, cool, awesome. Okay, so I don't know where we left off. So Oh man. So let me back up. So I think you guys know this room got really out of control. And go ahead and put me back in the screen. I actually did a lot of like prep work for here because I knew there was stuff that was going to go to the garage and that was going to take away from a live stream. And then the camera setup that I ordered, I knew I was cutting it close on ordering it. So I didn't get exactly what I wanted to be able to move about the room and have it follow and track me. So a lot of this is pre-recorded, but we can talk. And then, so I'll go ahead and get this back up. So again, I don't know if you heard this part or not, but so it was a lot of prep work of taking things to the garage. My library books were due, and we're trying to break the cycle of, oh geez, really? And I have the clip like muted, so I don't know why it's doing that. That is very interesting. Well, that's going to be a little bit disappointing if we can't do the whole declutter, but it's okay. I have all the footage. I can make a video out of it. I don't know. So sorry. But anyway, something I wanted to implement for the Take It There Now is this. I know Dana K. White, her tip is just gather what you can in your hands and take it to wherever it belongs. And I felt like that was really slowing me down, especially with someone with like huge attention span issues, because then, like, let's say something goes in the kitchen, then I want to straighten up the kitchen and I'm not focusing on the area that I want to, but these have little dividers. This is like, Dollar Tree, $1.25 stuff. And so like, even I left some things out for demonstration purposes. My glasses case doesn't belong in this room. This is an old phone. I actually really liked trying to use this as an alarm clock because my smartphone in my room. My parents, emergencies know how to get a hold of me. But so I made the mistake of turning this off at one point. Now it doesn't really know what day it is or year or anything, but I'm still going to try to resurrect it because I just got really used to having this clock. So, oh man. But I'm going to try some more. Admit like failure and defeat and get rid of it. But some other things. So in my Take It There Now prep work, there was a TV. My old TV was sitting here. That's going in the yard sale pile, and I forgot to take a remote, so that also can go little bin. So I felt like this has been a really handy game changer for me, and I don't know if you've tried anything like this, or what do you guys prefer? And also, where are you watching from? And if you're on the replay, go ahead and let me know that you're watching the replay later, but obviously, those of you here now, curious where you're watching me from. Apparently, I have a pretty large UK-based fan-based audience, so I thought that was really cool. And then we'll just keep working along, and I'll just... I only brought this in for trash. What? Oh, you're good. Awesome. I know some of you guys have been with me from the beginning too. This is awesome. All right, so and I hope Arizona. I hope it's not too early. Obviously we tried to do the best to make everyone kind of accommodating as possible. So I didn't bring much in the trash arena. This is a clock. It's really cool. My mom actually got it from me, and this is one of those situations where, I'm going to try to fix it, and then I tried to put a battery in it and put a new battery, and, hang it up last night and everything. And for some reason, I don't know if it's the contact or just the fact that I think she got it off of Wish or Temu. I keep pronouncing it Timu, even though like the Super Bowl commercials is Temu. So anyway, so even with a brand new battery, it's not working, and this sucks to like throw something away like this out, but you know, it is what it is. So, see what else we have here. And then, what are you working on today? Are you also working in your home office or anywhere else? Oh, I didn't know Cass has a tiny tote. Ah, know that. Like not seen an episode where she, well, maybe I thought like she meant tidy tote like cleaning supplies, but I think maybe I forgot. But I think I like this for this. And part of when I was getting crackly was, so this room got really out of control because it started slowly, like we all do. We slowly set stuff down in here. I really haven't been working from home very much since October because it actually got really hard to work from home because everything's backwards here. Okay, so this is where Gypsy used to sit. So you guys have not met Gypsy. She passed away shortly, right as I was starting at least filming the channel. I don't think it was so I know that was a question that I had seen. You know, in a past video, I got really emotional about some things I threw out, and it was her litter box. Obviously, it was trash, but it still was very hurtful to me in the moment. And then, so these are like little treats, particular things that I would keep in here while, you know, I was working. And the other two don't like these. And, you know, if you need to go ahead and, you know, throw these away, fine. I actually pass by an animal shelter on my way to work every single day, so I'm actually going to set this aside for donation. But by all means, do what you need to do. I mean, there's no reason that we have to be so perfect in our decluttering. You know, I also agree with like Cass's whole mantra of like, it's okay to do things badly, meaning like, it's okay if this recyclable thing doesn't get to the recycle bin. That's just, it's fine. Is that little recycling worth your peace of mind? No, honestly. So that's how this room got out of, but I'm also going to donate these just because it would be really silly in my past. Some other things that, and these are things that like, you know, we talk about things that we hope are going to work for us. So like, this is this really cool like $5 dry board, and these are the stands, and so like it's very tippy. You can't really write very well on it without it tipping, and then like actually getting it to balance on these is ridiculous, right? So I know, okay, well, I'm for sure going to get this part. Do I want to lean it up against the wall? It's a possibility. I thought about doing like the command Velcro. That's also a possibility. But also like even when I was erasing it, what I was erasing was a birthday from September. So clearly this is telling me I'm not using this. I could see if a neighbor wants this. I could, you know, put it in the yard sale items. But I just know like if I thought it was junky and annoying, someone else is going to find it junky and annoying. And like that's not fair to them. So going in the trash bag. So again, we're not doing things perfectly today. It is what it is. And a bunch more. I just have so much take it there now stuff right now. Cords that I probably don't need, but I've also come across that where I have gotten rid of cords. Like I don't know what these even goes to anymore, so I got rid of it, and then it turned out, oh, that went to my Super Nintendo, so then I had to buy an aftermarket Super Nintendo adapter. So And again, was that tragic? No, because we live in 2024 where you can Amazon something or whatever. Anyway, and feel free to drop any questions in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and go through a few that I have seen. We've already talked about that made me so emotional, and that was the litter box for Gypsy, because these two, they have their own. So yeah, so she used to sit in the top tier. I'm actually kind of surprised Queso isn't like milling about here. I think he finally wore himself out this morning when I was testing out the camera setup. So because he was like, oh, he's gonna put on a show and I'm gonna care about me. Mentioned in the spring reset video that I mentioned neem oil, and that's just a natural pesticide. I forget what plant it actually comes from, but it's an oil that deters a lot of like aphids and like stuff that, I mean, garden centers, they treat things, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to just, in case there's some spider mites, because when you go plant shopping, these plants are coming from all over the world. So that's just a little bit of a preventative thing for me. And most of the plants are doing okay. A few of them are struggling with the transition, but that's all right. Another question I saw was, will I ever do a house tour? And the answer to that is eventually. Now, I need to have everything fully decluttered. And I also understand too, because like, especially like I watch Donna a lot, obviously. So when she would be in different rooms, I would be like, okay, if I go on Zillow, like my brother, like I was looking at the house my brother just bought, and I'm like, I don't understand how this is actually set up, and I won't, like my brain will not picture it until I actually go there. So far, only my dad has been there. So eventually I will. I also had like this idea of what I want it to be. So like, sometimes I get in my own way of like, you guys, like my audience doesn't care. They just want to see stuff. And I'm like, well, but it's got to be this whole thing. So, you know, that's where we're at. A couple other things I can trash: straws. I was keeping straws. Now, and like part of me keeps these because I'm like, well, like what if, you know, I go to McDonald's or Taco Bell and they forget to give me a straw? Like that happens, but it's silly to keep them. Just take the lid off and drink it. It's fine. A couple other things were like keychains that come with like wrap skirts that I have a lot in my closet. And I've noticed that this enamel, so what are you guys throwing in the today? I'm just curious. Take it there now. Yeah. All right. We can go back to the questions. This one was in a. Oh, straws are very valuable. Yeah. And the other thing is like, I understand the idea of paper straws. They're awful. And the other thing I cannot wrap my mind around, and maybe this is like a me problem, is like, so Subway by me used to have paper straws. They didn't last long because, well, first of all, they're terrible. And then they were wrapped in plastic. Like, I don't get it. So, but but you guys get it. Like, you understand that, like, straws are like a big deal. I don't know. Oh man. Oh, Andrea, I know I knew you were gonna have to work today. That's okay, but you know, I'll mix up the times a little bit. Maybe we'll do some Saturday, or you know, maybe a weeknight something. But hopefully you have a good day at work. But yeah, straws, like I said, it's something. And the other thing is, I know I have a in my car, and I also have like a couple at work. So, oh, awesome! Thanks, Andrea. All right, but I'm gonna flip to this microphone. It's probably not as good as my Power Beats, honestly. So I don't know if the quality is going to be totally different, but I have noticed like these tend to like randomly disconnect from a device, which I don't understand. Anyway, all right, cool. All right, so and speaking of headphones, so yeah, so we definitely have a closet over here. I just need to make this like totally functional. And I know this is not going to be the best mic up here, so I will work on a microphone situation. I really thought these were going to be fine, but they don't want to cooperate. So, and I was playing around with them earlier, and I thought I had them solid, but I don't apparently. So these are wired headphones. Clearly, I'm wearing headphones, right? I've had these probably, if I had to like guess, I remember I used to wear these working in a factory. So like, we'll say somewhere around 2006 or 2008. So these have seen the day. They don't even have the covers anymore. I actually even ordered little foam covers, and I think I lost them already. And then like the other thing is, there's somewhere in this cord, yep, where it's like broken, and like if it actually like accidentally touches like your neck, it like gives you a micro zap. So like, why do I keep this stuff? Other than like, but I know it works and I like it, and like, but I have probably 3 sets of, you know, different headphones that are wireless, and you know, on Amazon you can get a good pair for like $20-$30 anymore. Like, I like my Power Beats, but I have one other backup pair that like really for the money are not that bad off. I'm shocked that they just don't make them anymore, so like I would leave them, but I actually tried that one time, but if they're great headphones, I want other people to save money, and they're really close to being on par with the sound quality of this. This can go, take it there now. It's a monitor adapter that everything has HDMI now, but I'll hang on to it just in case an HDMI cable craps out and, you know, I just need something. This is just a little thing, cover for my scissors, which I have over here. Clips that I will be using once I finish like the setup of the monitors down here, and some of the cords and stuff, because I figured I could put them like on the legs of my desk and try to manage cords, because like that's the bane of my existence is cords. I cannot stand them at all. So to the extent that I have racetracks, I still need to put these up in the living room. So like if you've been with me since like Vlogmas, and those cords are just still hanging out in the open, and it's partly because the TV cord is just a little bit shorter than how my original setup of these is. I also learned, because we live in 2024, is that I can go and buy a Samsung TV cord that's longer than what they give you out of box. So this is going to be a take it there now, so that's going to sit on my bookshelf and remind me constantly, here's the other piece, that I need to order the cord and get that finished up. So, all right. Let's look at other questions. All right, so some of these are very similar in tone. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this one up. This was from a Facebook group, the Take Your House Back group. So if you're part of that, shout out. And if this was you, awesome. I did a terrible job at writing down people's names of who asked what. Meaning to say I didn't write them down. And I also never know if people want to be featured or not. So what did you need to learn to become a content creator? So like, this is interesting because a lot of what, like the technical stuff, you can do it right here on YouTube, right? Like, so if you're running off of your iPhone, I'm running off of, I use an Android Samsung phone, so I downloaded different editing software, but you could use CapCut. Mine is totally different. It's not a super popular one, honestly, but like if you have an iPhone and you have iMovie, like there's videos out there. You can learn that stuff. And then you can kind of like slowly build up your skills, like how to like cut out more, how to do, you know, some of these like little overlays. I don't know if I'm squinting very well, and I'm backwards, like the way that this camera goes, it mirrors me, which is weird because like if I try to mirror it back, this goes backwards. Oops, I don't know. But so all the technical stuff like can be easily found on YouTube, online. There's tutorials everywhere. Like every editing software has its own like native tutorial like files too. So that, I don't want to say the easy part because it does take time to develop, but the more you do it, the faster you get at like, so I've gotten a lot more efficient at getting rid of my ums and so's and like all that stuff because, and the more I watch myself back, the more I can tell when I'm about to do that, and I can cut that very quickly. So all the technical stuff, information is out there. The biggest things I needed to learn were to get over myself, hit record. And the other thing is, actually, this is an important side note. This is the third time I've tried to start a channel. So like the fact that like I was already starting from kind of here instead of here, but I've forgotten a lot of stuff, so it was kind of like, and then getting back in the groove. So it's getting over yourself, hitting record, and then uploading. Those are the biggest things that I would say, like, honestly, just do it. Confidence is a thing. Going, this video is terrible, or, you know, I had one video back in December where it's like, oh, all of a sudden it's like, you know, 12,000 views, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out because I'm like, I wasn't expecting to grow that big that quickly. But so then the next video I put out and it's like 100 views, and you're like, okay, well. So it's just like, all right, this is a process and just sticking with it. That's the biggest thing, is the sticking with it. And like, don't mind this. This is a temperature thing. I actually turned down the heat, so like this is, I don't know, it drives me nuts that happens. So a couple other things. So a few other things that were in the room were like, so I had this shoved on the desk, and I was actually going to, all it needs is the seaming, and I was going to do that here live while we talk, just to prove to myself, like, this really would have only taken like probably 10 minutes, truthfully, to finish seaming up. But I couldn't remember the exact like where to stop, so that, you know, I have like a shrug and not, you know, something that doesn't fit right. And so this morning I was like, okay, I'll pull up the tab. I can't find it. I thought the tab was still open. So this is like something that is going to be a to-do thing. It's fine. I will figure that out. And it might just be an experiment of just keeping going and seeing what fits for me. But this is something, I started this in like September, maybe even August, because I thought this was going to be an awesome like fall shrug. And then, I mean, I would say we're almost into spring, but it started snowing again here today in Ohio. And I saw someone else was from Ohio, so I'm guessing it's snowing by you too. Oh man. Like, and it was just so nice the other day, right? That's Lisa. Yeah, Lisa, you're in Ohio. Man, that's crazy. Like, and I know that we all joke about Ohio weather, like, wait 5 minutes, it's gonna change, and that's sort of true. So, a couple other take it there now things. These, I picked up a bunch of these also from Dollar Tree to keep like little stitch markers and notions. These are meant, oh, another Ohio. Yes. All right, we are Ohio strong here. I picked these also up from Dollar Tree so I could have like little mini notion kits in all of my little project bags, and also to like gift them to some of my work friends that are getting into crocheting. So this is going to be a take it there now, because, or at least put it in the little, I guess it's a tiny tote. I didn't know that. I had to have seen that, and like maybe I had cast on in the background and it like subconsciously trickled in. But so I'm going to go ahead and put that in the caddy because, you know, I don't know what project bag it's going to go into. Tacky glue, don't leave home without it. This stuff's awesome. That goes in my junk drawer. Actually, it's pretty junky too. That's going to be another whole video going through the junk drawers. I have like three very, very small drawers in my whole kitchen. Yeah, these were meant for yeah, these were absolutely like on the little shelf tag at Dollar Tree. They were for like headphone cases. But I don't know, my brain when I saw them, like I'm in the aisle where it's like the little headphones. But you know, like this is how my mind works. Is like I had been looking for something to, you know, kind of portion out all my little notions so that way I always have like a little needle or I was hoping my little tiny scissors would fit into these and not quite, but that's okay. Yeah, it's just getting creative because like my main notion tin is like, oh yeah, it's a little bit bigger than this and deeper. That was not nearby. I thought I might still have it in this room because I was actually, you know, working on some stuff. And it was from like the Target dollar spot, I don't know, ages ago. I mean, ages and ages ago, over 10 years ago. So clearly they're not going to have that same style. And I kept looking and looking and looking and hoping like, okay, even if it's not the exact same pattern or like, I don't care about that. I just wanted, to me, it's like a nice size. And so this is a good compromise without getting too bulky in my project bags. My headband, this goes, I can go in the bathroom. Trash. Yeah, I actually, I pulled all this stuff out to like show like all the stuff I didn't get to, and I'm still so bummed that like I can't really put up the footage. Like apparently my audio goes out whenever I was trying to play stuff. So I'm going to work on that and see if there's a connection. And I'm actually wired into my internet because I'm surprised that was doing that. So this is trash. Fingernail clippers. I'm sorry. You know, do I have these in every room? No, but if I'm working from home and I get a hangout, I want them here. So they're staying on the desk. And then this little picture hanger that goes with my tools, so that goes in the tidy tote. These are like those little wire things because cords are my nemesis. Oh, hi. Oh, well, happy Mother's Day. Awesome. Yeah. No, you're totally fine. I was trying to come up with a good time because I know I have like a pretty large UK audience. So because the vote was for afternoon, and I'm like, well, at least I'll catch you guys earlier in the evening at least. So yeah, so these are like cord keepers. So again, since I'm still planning on setting up more stuff, those will stay in here. And notepads, these are, again, I'd probably get these. This is actually a brand name, so I doubt that it's a Need brand. I didn't get this from Dollar Tree, so I probably picked it up at like Walgreens or something randomly one day if they had a sale. I just like having little notebooks to jot down ideas all the time, so since I don't see one in my immediate vicinity, I need one in this room. Every room has like a little notebook to do that like mind dump or like reminders of things, or if I have a video idea, then I have full stuff for that. So the other thing, some of this stuff like was set down from working on the room right next to where we're at right now. So this one I feel crappy about. It was a sympathy card for my ex-trainer's wife. I might still send it to her because we still keep in touch, and she'll probably laugh that like I'm still sending it anyway. You know, whatever. The other thing that I have learned to do too, because then I scramble for sympathy cards, is as soon as I find like relatively, I don't want to say generic ones, but like not everyone likes the very like religious-y ones. So, and for certain people I will, and others, if I'm not sure, I just do a more neutral thing. And when I find ones, I just grab a whole
like this, I actually cleaned out what was in the rack because there weren't that many, and I actually sent one to a coworker recently for his brother who unexpectedly passed away. So this came in really handy, and so I'm gonna go ahead and put that in my little file organizer right here. And then it's like, same thing. Here's something I'm gonna get tripped up on, right? I don't know what it is about like Father's Day or any kind of like dad related card. They're either like usually beer or like yard work or, you know, thanks for like, you know, taking care of my car and stuff around the house. I've given them so many of those ones, like, you know. So one year Target had like a bunch of really good Father's Day cards and for dad that I really, really liked. So I grabbed all the ones that I like, and I spent like $30 on them. And then I legitimately went into my phone and I put in a reminder about 2 weeks ahead of Father's Day for the next however many years of cards that I bought. Seriously, this is how I had learned to operate myself. So I'm like, okay, cool. I got this fishing one. It's really cute, you know. Do you know he sold his boat this last spring? Like, not this spring, like last spring. So, like, then I'm like, well, I can't give this to him now. Because, like, he doesn't even go fishing. Like, seriously. So, do I hang on to it to see if he gets another boat? He's talked about getting, like, a smaller, I don't want to say like a rowboat, but like one of the smaller aluminum ones, that you could go into some of like the reservoirs in Ohio because some of them have like limits on how large your engine can be. So I guess I could set it aside. I could also maybe hang on to it and like maybe give it to my uncle because I think he still has his boat. So I'll also put that in my little files over here. Another random thing I found was like this perfume, and like I like spritzed it. It was like a little sample that came with the Macy's sweaters, and like I don't like that. That's only trash. So, and then the dry erase marker that went with the board that we tossed. Like, you know, do I have other dry erase things? Yes, but I also have other dry erase markers, and so by the time like I even get around to using this, it's gonna be dry. God, it's like lingering now. I shouldn't have done that. Oh man, stuff you guys just put up with me. Some other stuff. This actually came with my TV. It's like a little level with a like ledge on it. Now, again, this is gonna sound really strange. So there are some strange talents that I have. One of my strange talents is that I typically don't need a level, but I will always double check myself. I don't know what it is. I just have like a self-leveling. Like I can hang anything almost perfectly level. But I still think this is like a really cool like idea, and I always double check myself because what if I'm having an off day? So that will go in the tools. This is one of those ones, like hex key things that came with like putting something together. It could even be from the desk, and like so I have a million of those running around and screwdrivers. I don't need more of those. So we're making progress. This is really cool. All right, cool and sad all at the same time. So again, if you're back with me since Vlogmas time, you know I had a crummy birthday, and I actually forgot to put this part of the story in there. So the restaurant I was going to have my birthday at was very moose themed, and they had like, if you wanted to sit like at the bar in the center, they had these purse hooks, which is really handy. So, you know, as he went out of business, he was selling these off for $5, and I'm like, well, obviously I need one. I don't know where it's gonna go yet. I don't know if it's going to be in this room or if so like back here behind me is like when you first come into the front door, and there's not really a place for like a coat rack or anything, and then like if you come around the corner, that's where the coat closet is. So I think that's what I was originally thinking, was it'll go back there. So like if one person stops over really quickly, they can just hang their coat. So I do need hardware and stuff for it, so I'll put it in here. It's definitely not going. I definitely still want it. All right, so we haven't looked at questions in a while. Memberships. Am I going to offer memberships and or am I monetized yet? I felt like those were similar enough that I could put those together. Technically, no, I'm not monetized yet. The YouTube Partner Program has changed for the better, I think, for smaller creators. So now it is 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours is when you can start offering like memberships, a shop, which, I mean, I'm trying to get rid of stuff, right? So, and I want you to get rid of stuff too and have like a nice, you know, enjoyable home. So, and then I forget what the third thing, oh, like super chat. That's what it is. So technically you could get monetized after 500 subscribers. I'm like 200 hours of watch time short of that right now, and honestly, I'm probably gonna hit the $1,000 or 1,000 subscriber threshold for actually being able to get AdSense money. So even when you guys see like those mid-roll ads, because someone has told me, I have YouTube Premium, so I never see them, even if I like check from a ghost account to make sure everything looks okay on like a large screen TV. I don't see those ads, and someone else is like, oh, hey, you're monetized. I'm like, no, I'm definitely not monetized. I wish I was, but we're getting there. And it's more about sharing this with you, because I started this, and actually let's answer the channel membership too. So once I do hit those watch hours, yes, I am still working out exactly what the tiers are going to look like for the membership levels. Whether it's going to include like Facebook group, which I don't even have set up yet. I don't know exactly what all is going to be included and what my bandwidth can handle, but I do want to offer you something, maybe early access to videos, something like of that nature. Oh yeah. Oh, hi Krista. Hi. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the month, and I'm not trying to like toot my own horn or anything, like I'll probably be monetized by the end of the month. And then, you know, if it's like most other small creators, your first paycheck is like $100 if you're lucky. So that's fine. But yeah, thanks for stopping in. Awesome. So memberships are coming. And then why I started this channel was sure, like obviously side hustle, that's great to make money off of YouTube. But I was getting frustrated with, and I don't think this is anyone's fault. So like, obviously I watched Dawn, and she's even said like, oh man, I wish I would have like documented the very beginning of my journey. Now, this is sort of in the middle of my journey because I've had my house completely like under control at one point. And then like the last few years, just, I got complacent. I mean, if you've watched any of my videos, you know, like it just slowly builds up. And so, you know, that's something I know Dawn does say is like, decluttering is not a one-time event. And that's why people get frustrated, is because then every year you're doing a huge decluttering or whatever. So yeah, I mean, so I looked at it from, all right, now I've backslid this far of like all this stuff. So let's share this with other people who are also struggling, and maybe feel like it's hard sometimes to watch someone straighten up an already pretty tidy space. So like, again, that's not her fault that she doesn't have that footage. I mean, hindsight is 20/20 for sure. But that's why I started this channel, was just like, and that's the other thing, is like, the more I talk to other people, the more we all have like the same struggle. You know, very few people are very naturally tidy and inclined like this. So like, my mom could come over and recognize like I'm her clutter bug child. So, and like, she could get everything like tidied up a certain way that makes sense for her. I think I should have her take the clutter bug quiz, because like, I'd be curious to see like how different we are, because I remember one time I was in the hospital, she thought it would be like a good idea to like straighten up for me, and then I'm like, I can't find anything because we do things so differently. And a few of them I'm like, oh, duh, that does make more sense. So it's always interesting to get other perspectives too. But, you know, rarely do we like have this innate, like, I'm just going to be neat and tidy. And so even my mom thinks like, it's just so easy. It's just easy to be neat and tidy. But she's also been going through like, she's having a hard time getting rid of things. And so she's really not that tidy anymore. Like, sure, her kitchen is clean. Her like general living space, those are clean, but like the garage is full of stuff. Like I made her let me get rid of some furniture that she wanted me to keep. Because I was like, no, I'm not keeping this stuff anymore. I'm sick of it. It was a set of dressers, like where you get to choose lower ones and then the higher one. I forget which ones are supposed to be like stainless steel, but so it was like 3 dressers. They came from my great grandmother, but they weren't like heirloom quality. They were like a Levin or not Big Lots, not quite that. I don't want to say low quality, but you know what I mean. And so my grandmother had always told me like, hey, look, it's mass-produced stuff, so don't feel bad if you ever want to get rid of it. Of course, my mom was still like, don't get rid of it. And I said, all right, well, I'm putting them out. I hate folding clothes. And so then if I hate folding clothes, I'm putting them in the dresser drawer. What do you think goes in the dresser drawer? Junk. Junk goes in the dresser drawer, right? Because it's like, oh, it's just somewhere I can stash it. So if people come over, like, they just, it's out of the way, out of sight, out of mind. And she didn't have a space for them, like not even in her 2-car garage. And I was like, well, I'm putting them out at the side of the road, and yeah. So, and it's kind of funny, she like almost never comes over without, you know, letting me know ahead of time. And the one day she doesn't let me know that she's coming over ahead of time was the day I was putting them out. Oh, but so she got her last minutes of them, and then she got to enjoy that. Someone in the neighborhood picked them up for their son and his girlfriend for their first apartment. So I think stuff like that really helps people part with it, of like, I'm not using it, you're not using it, these things are not serving their purpose, and if someone else can like make good use of it, sure. Now, have they sat out there and maybe the trash company was like, no, we don't take it that big, or it wasn't in my tiered plan? I knew someone would probably pick it up. But if not, what's the worst case scenario? I shove them in the backyard and put them in the fire pit for a bonfire. That would have been the absolute worst case scenario. And so like, they weren't being used anyway. So anyway, tangents that we get on. So yeah, so I've made a pretty good collection here of things. This I think it's going to go into a donation box. It was originally sitting over here, but now that I have like the ring lights lighting up, I don't need this cluttering up the surface. So this will go, or maybe in the yard sale pile, I don't know yet. Maybe it all gets donated at the end. Oh, some wrinkle relief that can go in the laundry thing. And then something that like I really started enjoying is these dateless planners, because I don't always have plans or things that I want to get done like formally throughout the week, so then I feel less guilty about like if there's a ton of blank pages. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and take that stuff eventually when we're off this live stream, because you know I'm tethered to the computer right now. All right. So are there any more questions, comments? I'm kind of looking, there's not a ton, but that's okay. And we'll get better at this. I'll figure out the setup and what some of the lag was and why, if I share a video, the sound for me cuts out. I don't understand that because it's not supposed to work that way. And don't worry, like the footage that I can't show and that I was intending on showing while I was talking, like I was going to actually film for next week's video right after this, but I'll just go ahead and put that together as a video for next week, and we'll have like the actual decluttering, more of a body doubling like what I intended today. That's okay. These things happen. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss any questions. Oh, I did miss one. Oops, I'm sorry. This is also from the Take Your House Back Facebook group. I know a lot of them have found my channel. Do you find that you are able to get more decluttering accomplished because you are filming? Yes and no, which is probably not what people want to hear. So there is a little bit of effort of setting up filming. Not a ton because I'm pretty low budget and like I'm using my cell phone right now. That's going to change soon. I did order a camera. I couldn't help myself. So yes and no, because there is effort in setting it up. Yes, because like then once I look back at the footage, then I'm more motivated to keep going. But then I'm like, I stop to edit, and then like it's just kind of a whole thing. Like, or there's times where I would be on a roll and I'm like, okay, I've filmed what I want to have in for my next week's video or however many I go out. And like, so then part of me is like, I don't want to keep going. Then I'm like, oh, but I don't have enough like battery or storage on my phone or something like that. So like, then it turns into like, I'm holding off on decluttering because like, I just don't have the storage capacity right now. And again, I'm working through some of those issues. So yes, in the sense of like, and I think this is the most powerful for the first few, does 5 minutes really matter in decluttering? Because when I know my first thought was going to be like, I'm not really going to see a difference. Like, yes, it's going to be better, but like, you know, it's kind of like when you first start like losing or gaining weight, you don't always notice it right away. It's like, so I thought it was going to be like that. But when I actually did that, you know, that initial like pan of the before and then the after, I was like, dang. So I don't know that I would have kept that same motivation. And also, I think the other powerful thing was like, I started my channel with other intents, and like this seems to be what everyone wants. And so like, I don't know that I would have kept going with it. So it's a very loaded question. So yes and no, but mostly yes. And like, the other thing I keep trying to remind myself of is like, I don't have a due date for this. And you know, and everyone's situation is going to be different. So like, if you're hosting something bigger or whatever coming up, sure. I actually do have a friend that like hosts regularly to keep himself like accountable to like certain areas of his home. I thought that was actually really kind of funny. I just hate hosting. That's what I've learned. I don't even know why I even tried to host my own birthday. Like, that's stupid. Oh, yay! That's your weird out anyway. Awesome. Yay! Hey, progress is progress, right? And I think that's the thing. Is like, we tell ourselves like, oh man, I only have 5 minutes. Like, what is this really gonna do? And that's powerful. And especially once you get like that momentum, and that's where like sometimes I hold back of like, I want to film this because like, you know, obviously, and like I can still smell the perfume I threw away. Like, this is terrible. I'm gonna have to like deodorize this room. So, all right. Well, I don't see any more questions. And I thank you so much for stopping by, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.